Now, now we're live.
Awesome.
Oh no,
Hmm.
now you're upside down.
All right, let me turn it around. Is this good?
No, you're still upside down. Try it again. You were
Let
fine.
me figure this out.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Awesome.
All right, there you
There
go.
we go.
All right. El Palco de Honor, number 33. This is, number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? A really legend for Los Angeles, right? Just that, and also Real Madrid winning La Liga 33 4 years ago. Remember that when we went
Oh
for
yeah,
a in Cardiff?
absolutely, man. That was. You know what happened at that point in time. I was so. I'll take you back. So, I've been a fan of Real Madrid for. I'm pretty much the oldest fan for the ones who were born after 1983. But and at that point in time, I was in 1999 when I first watched Real Madrid. I was like, why are these guys playing in all white? Why is it that these guys are playing in all white? Don't they have a color kit, or don't they have anything? And then in 1998, I saw Zidane, and at that point in time, I knew like this is my all-time favorite player. The way that he performed in the finals of the 1998 World Cup, I'm like, I want this player in a club that I really want. And then bang, this guy lands up at a club, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. This guy lands up in Real Madrid. Why did he go from Juventus to Real Madrid? What is Real Madrid all about? So I started researching about that club. And I'm like, all right, this is amazing. This is the club that I really want to be with. And since then, it's been, in India, we did not have live telecasts. We did not have real time matches at that point in time. But I still used to hunt them down. And you would not believe it, but at that point in time, matches used to be showcased at, they used to be, telecasted later than when they were played. And it used to come up on MTV. Right? I used to really hunt them down. I'm like, where is it? Because everybody was going after Manchester United and EPL clubs. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is where I really want to be.
Nice.
And my favorite place right there. And this is where I really want to be at. This is the club that really. And at that point in time, I used to hunt down for matches. So when uh, La Decima happened, I was alone sitting in my room, and I'm like, that's it. This was the 10th time, and we really had a chance, and it's the 90th minute. I don't know if this is really possible or not, but let me go ahead and say, let me sink in that loss. Let me see. Okay, fine, we do it next time again. And then 92-48, bang, it happened. I'm like, whoa, this team just never gives up.
Nope.
Just never gives up. And at that point in time, it was like rejuvenated enthusiasm and motivation in the entire team. And like Carlo Ancelotti said when we won the largest match, like even till the last minute, I knew there was something in the air. There was something in the air that told me that we are going to go and win it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, yeah. So that is where La Decima happened. And that is where it all happened. And after that, we started forming the Madridismo in India, and I got in touch with other people who really loved and followed football, and that is when it all really happened. And I'm like, yes, finally, it's there. Finally, we have arrived, and it was just amazing. And then what followed after that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Three UCLs, one after the other. We were like unconquered.
It's incredible. And I want everyone to know this is Rajat Samuel from Delhi, India, my dear friend, founding member of Peña Madridista Delhi. I'm Christian Paredes, founding member Peña Madridista Sur de California. Just this is unbelievable. I mean, we really have to note this. Thank you for technology because we are on opposite ends of the globe right now, live talking, and we are 12 hours time difference. So it's almost noon over here, and over there it's almost midnight. I just have to point that out. I mean, really amazing to connect with you. Really.
Absolutely, Christian. It's absolutely amazing to connect with you as well. we've been talking over the phone for a very long time, almost two and a half years or
Yeah.
3 years, right? But it's finally great to be here. It's
Yes.
amazing, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting my
Welcome.
invitation. It's a pleasure to have you on the channel, and that is exactly what I wanted to get into. And you started off very well. So you started following back then in the year 2000, 2001 when Zidane got to Real Madrid. You followed him in the World Cup in France '98. I mean, I share a similar path as well. I started following Real Madrid in the year 2000 when I went with my family to Spain. I didn't know anything about Real Madrid, but I took the tour. I went to the stadium. I bought a Real. My father bought me a Real Madrid jersey, the black one that we wore for La Octava in France and in Paris that we won that final. I still have it, by the way. It doesn't fit me anymore because I grew out of it, but I still have
I'm
it.
telling you, the jersey that I'm wearing right now, I don't fit into that myself. But yeah,
Unbelievable. Yes, yeah. But you just said
absolutely.
about this past decade in La Decima, where we had I don't know, the new Madridistas, they follow Real Madrid after these UCLs, but before that, you remember the 2000s after Del Bosque was no longer manager, we had difficulty in La Liga, we were not a factor in Champions League, and then when Mourinho came and Ancelotti, then we started to go further and further in Champions League, but we were running into that brick wall. We ran into the brick wall in semifinals, right?
You know, the thing about Real Madrid was that we are known for an attacking form of football. We are known that we will annihilate the opposition. We are known that if people do not go ahead and take pride in winning the league, winning the Champions League. They take pride if they have defeated Real Madrid in a match, and that is where the importance grows. That is where it all grows, and becomes a part that other teams, they don't really go ahead and match up to our success. They just go ahead and celebrate if they win by a goal or two against us, and some teams even celebrate if they've scored against us. And that is what goes ahead and gives you the pride that you are part of a club which does not just they've just been funded or just been brought up. They have a legacy since more than 100 years, and that is what inspires me. When Ronaldo left, a few years ago, at that point in time, many fans in India, they just departed. The club just really shrunk down, and they're like, okay, Ronaldo's gone, it's over, it's fine. But I knew when Zidane went ahead and retired, and I was at that point in time, I was at Loggerheads and like, okay, is this the club that I still follow? And then I figured out, yes, this is, because this team just does not, and it does not mean whichever we are, but this team just does not say no.
No.
And that's what fills me up fills me up with pride every time I go ahead and sit and I watch the match.
Yeah.
They just
And
keep on coming, keep on coming.
right. That dynasty that they built, I mean, that helped fuel a lot of the energy and a lot of the passion and connected a lot of us in outside countries outside of Spain to be Madridistas, to create Peñismo, to spread the feeling across the globe. Those
Exactly.
Champions League titles, that dynasty is a catalyst for that.
Exactly. Exactly. I was very heartbroken when we lost to Liverpool back in 2008. I was really heartbroken, 4-1, and we just lost to Liverpool. And I was like, oh, is this what Madrid is all about? Is this where we are heading to? And it was like a dry run. I started following him in 2000, 2002. The wonder kick from Zidane won us the Champions
Yeah.
League. And then from there on, it was just a dry run. And forever, and at that point in time, I don't know if you remember, but Valencia was like a really good team. They kept on
Yes.
winning the league. And at that point in time, I thought like, okay, I'm supporting a club that does have a history, but so does Nottingham Forest in the EPL.
Mm.
Is this the real team that I'm really looking to
Yeah.
go ahead and support? But then at that point in time, I was like, that's it. this team is the one that I will always go ahead and stay with. It doesn't matter the player, it doesn't matter whatever it is,
Yeah.
but this is the team that I will stay with.
Yes.
And I decided to go ahead and stick by them, the Whites, the Los Merengues, and trust me, I haven't been disappointed in the last decade. We
No.
won almost four out of the last decade, four Champions League. And to be very honest, when another fan comes up to me like, how many league titles have you won? I'm like, let that be. How many Champions League have you won?
Yeah. When
Right?
they what
And
right, that's the thing is that we hold the covenant on Champions League titles, and those that do not respect that look to find another avenue that they try to take us down with that argument. But as everyone knows that knows the sport, knows competition, knows that Champions League titles are greater value than a league title. League titles are division titles as far as we are concerned. They are important to a position to a point, but Champions League is what reigns supreme for the moment. You know what I mean?
no, absolutely, absolutely. And what they really do not go ahead and feel or understand is what is really important. In this, everybody takes pride. You won an FA Cup, fantastic. You won a league title, fantastic. We've been there, done it all, and we've been there, done it all, not just once, but multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
We've, for us, they do not know. They haven't reached that summit that we have. So if you haven't reached the heaven that you've dreamt of, you will never be able to understand what it is. And it's just like the world's best taco, right? If you haven't had it, then you will never be able to understand what great taste tastes like. So let it be. That's what I go and let
See,
everybody else know.
the sky is the limit, and we're the ones raising the sky.
Always, always. And I'll tell you one thing. Prior to 2010, half the world used to keep on coming and telling me, what you're really raving about your club success is what your forefathers did. To come 2021, everyone's speechless. We won four out of the last decade of UCLs.
Yes.
Please. So
Mhm. And
yeah,
building the next team to dominate this upcoming decade, that we're in. I mean, that's how it is. It's an ebb and
absolutely,
flow, basically. Now, understandably, when there is a transitional period, there is going to be some drop off because some fans are not as
definitely,
dedicated as other fans. We all share the passion. We do to different degrees. You have, let's say, 200 million Madridistas around the world, for example, but penistas like you and me and others, we express that passion and educate and follow the club, defend the colors. We do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not every Madridista is capable of that. It's not a knock. It's just that's not going to happen 100%. So that's where we come into play, and that's what we provide to the club.
definitely. And you wouldn't believe, so La Liga started kicking up, and people in India started to realize that El Clasico is pretty much the most important match of a calendar year. It doesn't really matter whether you're an EPL fan or a La Liga fan or a Serie A fan. But when it comes to Real Madrid versus Barcelona, that is where the buck stops. And that is where the La Liga Federation of India started to organize, mass large level screenings. And the first of it was held at stadium in New Delhi. Yeah, that was way back in 2017 or 2018, I think 2016, when Sergio Ramos went ahead and equalized in the last minute.
Mhm.
And at that point in time, it was so crowded that somehow I ended up with my beer in my hand on the Barcelona end of that stadium. So they had gone in and distributed everybody and like, okay, you're a Real Madrid, get onto the left side. You're a Barcelona, get onto the right side. And I'm like, okay, fine. But somehow I ended up right in front of the Barcelona fans. And the moment they scored, everybody was pouncing upon me and I'm like, there you go. What's that? There you go. There you go. And I was like, okay, no issues. That's right. You can go ahead and scream all you want. You have the right. Go ahead. That's a good goal. Fine. Fantastic. Then comes the last minute header. You would not believe my beer on my hand. I just went in and threw my beer glass up in the air. And I was alone standing in front of almost 250 or 300 all Barcelona fans and showing them the expressions of their lifetime. That was just epic. That was just epic. And after that, we went to the entire, when the match ends, the stadium was emptying up, and all the fans were going out, and all I could hear was Madrid. I could hear was Madrid chants. And at that point in time, you realize, these are some moments that you realize that yes, what you stood for, what you did was right.
And following Real Madrid in India, I mean, in India, it's not the number one sport over there, I believe. Correct? Is it cricket or is it what
Yes, it
it
is.
is?
It is. Cricket is the religion, and one of the best players of the world, and one of the best players who have played the sport is Sachin Tendulkar, and he has been uh, literally demarcated as the god. And yes, he is good. So almost 99% of the world uh, follows India for cricket, and it's been tough going because there have been cricket match screenings conflicting with football screenings, and we've been trying to go and make our space over here, and we've been getting support as and when. And within a year of launching our Facebook page for the Delhi Peña, we've received almost 6,000 or 7,000 odd likes on our page. So it was overwhelming, absolutely, to see all these undercover football fans coming up. So it was really heartwarming at that point in stage. But yes, we've been trying to make inroads. We've been trying to go ahead and make sure that the fans get together.
Yes.
When you follow our page on Facebook and Instagram, you see the fans really do get together. It doesn't really matter whether we got 30, 40, 100. That's fine. You wouldn't believe the one with Liverpool as the one that we faced in the finals, Liverpool, that
Yeah,
Champions League final,
2018. Yes.
2018, right? We had almost 3,000 people gathered together at a local pub, and they flooded. They did not have any space to sit. They didn't have any place to go and stand. They didn't have any way to go and get their drink served to them. But there were fans who got up, came to that venue, and and they watched the match all the way from 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. And that's the level of fandom that we go and face over here. We had to organize screenings at 1:30 a.m. The normal time that cafes and pubs and places here close is 12 midnight, but we used to organize screenings at 1:30 a.m.
Hmm.
And it's been a tough road, but the way that you see people grow, even the the final that we had with Juventus, we
Hmm.
had almost 2,500 at that screening at a pub, and it was amazing. Just the very fact, and these are the times when you go out and see the results. When you see that what you've been working for as a Pena really goes and yields the results. And at that point in time, you see all of them coming up. It's just literally overwhelming.
Hmm.
And people don't have the place to sit. They don't have the tables, the thing. They sit on the floor and watch the match. It doesn't really matter. They just want to go and be part of that congregation at that point in time. And that's really heartwarming.
Is it the type of the people that would go to the viewing parties? Were they younger people? Were they older people as well? Was it mixed? Was it what were you seeing when they were coming into the pubs to watch the Real Madrid games?
It doesn't really matter what the age was. Most of them were young.
Young, right?
Most of them were young.
Mm.
They're probably in their mid 20s or early 20s, or probably the 14, 15, 16 years old. In
Oh,
fact, a bordering country, which is Nepal, uh, to India, people actually flew down from Nepal when they knew that we are holding a screening of the Champions League final, and they
Wow.
actually flew down, and
How far is
after the
that
match,
flight?
that's around about 3.5 4 hours flight.
4 hour flight. That okay, here in the
Correct.
United States, 4 hours is from
That'll
LA
take
to
you from the
Atlanta.
East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah, Los Angeles to Atlanta, that's 4 hours.
Correct, correct.
Wow.
So people actually flew down, and we were like fantastic, and we were overwhelmed. After the match, they walked up to us and they're like, we come from Nepal, and
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, thank you so much for coming. We're really honored to have you here.
yeah.
So
And
yeah, the team's been working a lot towards exposing football over here, to go ahead and introduce the Madrismo feeling in across the audience, and yeah, and people are trying to go ahead and they are getting a hold of what Real Madrid really stands for. One of the very one of the setbacks that we actually faced when Ronaldo transferred over to Juventus, and
yeah.
we were like, okay, fine, fantastic, he's gone. Now we'll get to see the true Madridista. And you wouldn't believe, Christian, we did not face a decline in the screenings.
Wow, that's
People were
fantastic.
still very avid to walk up to the screenings, to attend those screenings, to meet up, and we were really surprised. I'm like, okay, fine. It was not exactly a Ronaldo fan base that we had. It was a Real Madrid fan base that we had.
Mhm.
So it these are some moments, and these are those little silver linings in that cloud that we get to see here.
Yeah, wow, that is fantastic. And you're working with other peñas within India and Nepal and in within the Southeast region, Southeast Asia region,
Absolutely.
correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have an entire group of all of all the peñas within India, and would like to go ahead and call out that one of our very honorary members, he passed away a few days ago, Karthikeyan. You would know through our Instagram post. He was a very active member, and really appreciate his contribution towards the development of all peñas. And the best part is that we keep on coming up with new peñas every now and then. Every
Yeah.
now and then we keep on coming up with new cities, and these cities, other than the main cities like New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, these are the metropolitan cities. But there are cities which are further in, Lucknow, Kolhapur, Pune. They keep on coming up with us, and like we got a fan base over here, and we get just so excited, and that's like a motivation and a driving factor. And the entire Madrismo in India, we just keep on holding each other's hand, and we got each other's backs,
Yeah.
and that's fantastic to see.
Mhm. The question that my family had for you is the Taj Mahal. Where is the Taj Mahal? I mean, that is the.
Isn't that the most asked question? Well, so it's apparently less than 300 kilometers
All right.
from where I am at right now.
Okay.
I'm at New Delhi. The Taj Mahal is in a city called Agra, a
Okay.
very fantastic place,
Mhm.
and it's situated at the banks of a river.
Okay.
So when you look over the Taj Mahal, you would be able to see a river flowing in the backs of that monument. It is magnificent.
Mhm.
It is absolutely magnificent, and you have to witness that in person. You can see
Yeah.
photographs, you can see caricatures, you can see scale models of that, but nothing compares to when you see it in person.
Yeah, well, I definitely have that on my bucket list when I get over to India. It's going to happen in my lifetime. I definitely will let you know, obviously, and Karthik, a very dear friend of ours that I connected with from your Pena. I mean, I told him I'm going to make it out there. This pandemic we're in at the moment is slowing that a little bit, but it's not stopping it. So,
Karthik's going to go ahead and tell you why didn't you go with Rajat, because he does not have a driver's license right now. So don't worry, I'll go ahead and take you over.
all
The
right, all right.
moment you land up on this airport, you go ahead and make sure you give me a call, and I'll make sure that everything is taken care of.
I love it. I'll try to bring Ronceto with me.
Absolutely, that would be amazing. then I'll personally accompany you.
There it is. There it is. I mean, we talked, and he came over to Los Angeles 6 years ago with his family, and he got to see California. I took him to
Mm.
Vegas. I took him to the Grand Canyon, but we were talking about other places in the world that he wanted to go visit, obviously. And I mentioned India because at that time I had, I'd seen the possibility of wanting to go see the Taj Mahal. And then when I started getting communication with you and with Karthik, I mean, that's where it really picked up steam in building that anticipation of wanting to make the trip, and it'll happen. It'll definitely happen.
Absolutely, Kristen. You welcome anytime, and if you need flight arrangements to be made, I've got all my contacts in the United States. They'll help you get pulled through.
I love it. Now, have you been to Spain yet?
I haven't. I've only been as far as the Middle East.
Middle East. Okay.
You're right, and you wouldn't believe. I used to work in Dubai. And
Okay.
when I was in Dubai at that one time, the 2006 World Cup was going on. In fact, the
Yeah.
2004 Euro was going on at that point in time. And obviously, I was a diehard Madridista at that point in time. And Zidane, being my favorite player, I
Mm,
was all for him.
yeah.
And at that point in time, you wouldn't believe, I was at an Irish pub, and I was the only one sitting there with a Real Madrid jersey on with Zidane number 5. And I was watching France versus England. And and at that match, Zidane scored 2 goals
Yeah.
in the last 4 or 5 minutes. One with
Yes.
the free kick, the other with a penalty.
I
And
remember. I remember that game. I remember my father and I. We purchased that tournament pay per view. Setanta Sports provided it to the United States, so we paid for
ah,
the tournament and we got all the games. And that France England game was the big game everyone talked about before the tournament started.
absolutely,
That was the big
absolutely.
game. So then when that game happened, England was winning the game, and it looked like they were like I was watching an English commentary. They're like there was like a coronation type of a movement of the commentary, and then
Exactly.
Zidane ripped their hearts not once but twice. And then when the
Right.
game ended, that's when they were like, "What the hell happened?"
And you have no idea how hard was it for me to get out of that place. You wouldn't, because English fans, they're not very, kind.
Mhm.
And I was the only one sitting there. And when they scored, everybody looked at me. And now when we scored,
Yes,
I was looking at everybody, and they were still looking at me. It was just unbelievable.
and it was the first time we got to see Cristiano Ronaldo
Oh
because he was
yes,
18. I think it was 18 in that tournament for Portugal,
yes,
and they got to the final, and Greece won that final, which I still can't believe they won that tournament. I
correct.
can't believe it. They won it with zero forwards.
And apparently in that tournament, nothing was, and Greece was unbeatable. Their cross spamming was literally unbelievable. They were simply cross spamming.
Yeah,
If you watch that tournament again, if you watch that tournament again, and you watch, I used to watch every match of Greece, and I'm like,
yeah, me too.
okay, this
Me too.
team
Mhm.
just does not know. But all they were doing was cross spamming. They used to take the balls through the wings, put it
Mhm.
in, and one lucky person used to just go and get their head in,
Yeah.
and that's how they won through the knockouts. But yes, all compliments to them. Well executed strategy.
Mhm.
It was fantastic,
Yeah.
and yeah, but yes.
Phil Kitromilidis of Real Madrid TV, formerly Real Madrid TV. I mean, he's
Mm.
to this day he still talks about that Euro that his country won. He still brings it up. You
But
know,
it was because nobody expected Greece to win.
yeah, no,
And when they were beating other teams, they beat the
they
Portugal on the way, they beat
they beat
Spain
the
and
host
France.
nation in the final. The
Literally,
host nation.
exactly. And it was quite unbelievable. And
Hmm.
and to be very honest, I was very heartbroken for the 2006 World Cup, because I watched every match that France played in, but because obviously I'm a fan of Zidane,
Yeah.
and I was not able to watch the final. And because I was not able to watch the final because I was on a flight,
Yeah.
uh, somehow I think it's probably because of me that France lost because I was not able to watch the final. Because every match that I watched, they won, and people just never gave France really a chance. But there comes a Madridista playing his literally final tournament,
Yeah.
and this man, he actually came out of retirement to go and help France qualify,
Yeah.
and that is what goes in gives me makes me put Zidane in the most highest of regards. That this person actually came out of retirement. He was, I think, what 34 when he was
Yes.
playing the tournament, and he takes on the Brazilians and the Spanish and the Portuguese, which had one of the best players in Europe at that point in time. Like you play Ronaldinho at 34 and you still go ahead and take on him. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I even till day to day, I go ahead and I go ahead and YouTube, the highlights of France versus Brazil or France versus Spain. Even to this day, the way the Zidane moved,
Yeah.
and when the Galactico era happened, and people were like, Ronaldo's with Manchester United. We got the best player. I mean, don't worry, I'm Real Madrid. We're gonna buy him.
We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
You give me you go ahead and give me the best club in the world. We're gonna buy it.
Yeah,
The
we're gonna
best
be
player.
fine.
We're gonna buy it. We're gonna be fine.
I didn't sweat.
And
I
even
didn't sweat it. I didn't sweat it as much. You know what? Everything has its end. But at Real Madrid, we just keep going. We just keep going. You know, you don't have 120 seasons and where you've won left and right. You don't have a constant consistency of we're winning every single year. That doesn't happen. It's impossible. Impossible. That's perfection. Perfection is not attainable. But the highest level of competitiveness, yes, yes, of
and
course.
even till today, it doesn't really matter which player is there or which player isn't. The club, the team, they have that DNA in them. Like even today, there's no Ronaldo. Sergio Ramos has gone off to PSG. But still, the way that you see uh, Karim, Vinicius, and Rodrigo form up the front three, it's amazing.
Yeah,
And the way Modric really goes in and holds up the midfield, it's actually literally like a canvas being painted. The way that Modric, Cruz, and Casemiro hold up the midfield, it's just simply amazing. All three of them looks like they were brought on this earth for this purpose, and it doesn't really matter what time of the game that they're being introduced in. They just come in, and it seems that they were never substituted, or they were always there.
yeah.
It's literally amazing, and midfield has been the key for Real Madrid all these seasons, all these Champions League finals, and all these tournaments.
Rajat, we've been following Madrid for 20 years, roughly, approximately. Me and you. Have you seen a better midfield than we've seen with these three? I mean,
Has the
Tony
world?
Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro. I mean, my goodness, I don't remember a better midfield than that.
I'll tell you very honestly, we got Tony Cruz at a very steal deal.
Yes,
To be
25
very
million
honest,
euros. 25. Nobody talks about that.
nobody talks about that.
Nobody
Exactly,
talks
exactly
about
my
that,
point.
but they want to
Nobody
talk
talks
about
about that.
Eden Hazard 100 million. They want to keep dramming that down our throats, right? But Tony Cruz
Nobody talks about
25,
that.
right? Luka Modric 47, 46 million or
What is that?
42.
When he came from
42.
Tottenham,
Yeah,
yeah, and nobody really talks about that. And the way that has anybody else seen a better midfield? We had what Julia Baptista and Gravison way back in the 2000s.
Makaleli we had,
Makalele we had correct,
McManaman.
and exactly McNanaman,
Mm-hmm.
and but ever since these three came together when the La Decima happened, and yes, I must say, Xabi Alonso was a fantastic, fitment in the
Pedida.
team. Right. but it's just that when the moment these three were
Yeah.
put together, ah, it was like symphony being executed. They're
Well,
like
because
Mozart at play.
oh yeah, it's like I think a friend of mine that did commentary on TV. He mentioned to me privately saying that's it's like a watch, like a Swiss watch. These three guys, it's a Swiss watch. They just
Correct.
in synchronization,
I'm
and
saying.
you know, earlier last decade, you remember how there was the narrative of Xavi Hernandez, Andres Iniesta, Sergio Busquets. Like we heard those three guys constantly, right? Through
Correct.
the,
Correct. Correct.
but
Correct.
here we go with
All the
our
way.
three. Now we have our three, and they're from three different countries. The other guys were from the same country. These are from three different countries. Why
Three
isn't that
different countries
celebrated
across two continents.
across two continents? Why isn't that celebrated? That should be celebrated, I believe.
And Luka Modric is what, like 34, 36 right now?
36.
And this man is like a workhorse. Nobody's got a better right foot right now than this person. And the way he swings in the ball with the outside of his right foot,
Mhm.
I have never seen that happen, be it whatever EPL or La Liga or Serie A team that I've seen. Nobody's got a better right foot and the outside of the right foot the way that this person bends the ball in. Yeah, I still remember the match was in Manchester United when Ronaldo
Oh
scored it. He
yeah.
did not
Oh, the
celebrate it,
shots.
and the second goal was by Luka Modric.
Yes.
Literally amazing, literally amazing. And the best part about all three of these midfielders, why is Tony Cruz known as a sniper? He just shoots out of thin air anytime, and he just makes it. Casemiro, he's got pretty much the best shot out of the midfield towards the goal. If you would have watched the match against Osasuna, he actually attempted a goal within his own half.
Yeah.
He actually
Yeah.
went, yes, it was a frustrating match for all Madridistas, but he actually attempted a goal within his own half
Oh
and it
yeah.
almost made it. He
Yeah.
was able to go and catch it. And if you notice in the last decade, if the midfield, if the forwards aren't firing, the midfielders step in, not just with the attack, but even with the defense.
Mhm. Yeah, now leading into that, Osasuna we had on Wednesday, tied 0-0. You mentioned it. Frustrating, I think, is the best word to describe it.
Literally.
Because we have children that might be watching this. I could use other words, but I'm choosing not to. And then today, and then today we played Elche and won 2-1. So we got 3 points there. So it was a good week. Overall, a good week. Last week was a great week, winning 5-0 in Ukraine and beating Barcelona 2-1 in Barcelona. That's a great week. This is a good
Oh,
week. But watching these two games, there were rotations. Let's start with the Osasuna game. You saw that. I mean, what was troubling to you about the team in that performance against Osasuna? Were there red flags, or is it just another?
uh, I'll be very honest with you. In the Osasuna game, it's not just the Osasuna game. Even if you watch the Elche game, uh, the positioning, the positioning really needs to work on. If I am a forward, I need to know where my left winger or my right winger are going to pass. If I'm playing at an attacking midfield position, I need to know where is it that they will be passing the ball to me. Maximum times we had crosses in. Vinicius, oh, that person, two people, I tell you, Vinicius and Benzema, they have gone into God mode in this season, literally. Uh, but it's just that when Vinicius crosses, there has to be somebody looking to go and take that.
Right.
There has to be somebody there to go and just literally put the ball into that net. We had almost what 22 or 18 shots at goal versus Osasuna. We had almost 14 shots today, and we were able to manage two. Beautiful finish versus the second goal by Vinicius. What sublime finish! It is amazing. But it's just that the front three and Ancelotti needs to decide really quickly because we are almost midway, approaching November and December in the season. So we're almost midway in deciding, see what front three really works best for him. He cannot go ahead and take out a winger and put in Asensio. He cannot go ahead and take somebody out and put in Hazard. He needs to go out and say, these are my front three or my front four, and these are the people who will go out and start the game all the time. We had BBC, right? There was no question.
Yeah.
Nobody went ahead and questioned that decision all the time, and they both synced in together.
Mhm.
Fantastic. We need to go ahead and find out that these three need to go ahead and work, because the midfield is working their best.
Yeah.
The way that Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, even Valverde for that matter, the way that these guys go and put in their hard-earned efforts and put in the crosses, pass in the ball, they're fantastic. The front three really need to go out and make sure that they know in the back of their hand where is the other person the moment they are going in and going for goal.
Yeah.
And that is what is needed right now. And to be very honest, it's not something which is impossible, or it's not something we cannot do. We have the ability. Vinicius is now the finishes, to be very honest. And he's transformed, and the way that this guy is working is amazing. And we really need to go ahead and put that through, and we really need to go ahead and utilize. We have a fantastic wing right now, be it left or right, and an exuberant, talent that we have, and we just need to go ahead and we're almost there, and we just need to go ahead and just put that cherry on that cake, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna be home.
Yeah. In the Osasuna game, what troubled me is that Osasuna put a 5-3-2 defensive formation against us, and that really confused the heck out of our team. We were not moving the ball fast enough. We were not creative enough. We were not trying different strategies on how to get into the box. When we took outside shots, which is what you need to try to do, you take an outside shot, you draw the defense out, it opens space up so you can be able to get in and have an opportunity inside the box. But the shots were terrible. The shots were off the goal. They were up in the stands. They were just all over the place, And then towards the end, Marcelo, when he was out on the left side, he would break his defense and their defense and go in, but he was looking to pass. And when he had an opportunity to shoot, he was looking to he made a pass, and that is troubling to see from a veteran, because if you're in the final minutes of a game and you need those 3 points and you're an opportunity to shoot, you got to take the shot. You don't take it passing it into the box where there's a bunch of bodies in there where it's going to get blocked, and it did. So that to me was very frustrating. The other thing is
Yeah.
that I knew that the team was going to rotate. I knew Camavinga was going to get in there. I knew that there were going to be some rotations from the Clásico. There were rotations against Elche, obviously, and most of them were on the defensive side. Like you had Mendy and Carvajal, and then they were coming in for Marcelo and for Lucas Vázquez. So you have rotation on the left and right back, obviously, but the center backs pretty much are formed. You have Militao and you have Alaba. You have that. The midfield is pretty set if we're healthy, obviously, because Cruz was injured. And then he came back. But you're absolutely correct. I have to agree with you, because if you don't have a starting 11 that's set, like this is our starting 11, like in Spanish you say once de gala, that this is our best starting 11 out there, but they don't have it yet. That's why Ancelotti is still rotating. He's still figuring it out. I mean, that's what we're facing with at the moment.
And even if you look at it, Marcelo, let's go ahead and accept that fact. We do have players who've been there, done that. And when you reach the pinnacle, you know that this is how high it gets. And at that point in time, you start aging, and because you've been there, done it all. Marcelo, to be very honest, yes, I agree with you. He didn't shoot, but he put in some beautiful crosses, which, if connected, were sure shot goals. So yes, the left backs coming into the picture, right? Marcelo being introduced at that point in time.
Mhm.
One more, another bother that I have here is the defense. If you looked at the counter attack that Osasuna had when the second half started,
Yeah.
Mondi was pretty much at the position of a center back,
Yeah.
and he was not even moving towards the wings.
Mm.
And that's a concern that I have, that you need to go and hold your position. You're playing on the outside, you're playing on the wings. You need to go in. If you remember early 2000s, early 2010s, Marcelo used to be up and running like a tireless workhorse.
Yes.
This person used to get back right there at that moment in time, and he used to be right there, and he used to go and intercept. And if he didn't intercept, Ramos was right there, standing like a brick wall. So yes, indeed. So those were the things that used to happen. And Ancelotti, one of the reasons why we won the La Decima was because Athletic was tired. But we guys were doing up and down at that point in time. The way Di Maria went in and crossed the ball in and
Yeah.
moved into defenders clearly shows the fitness of the team, and that was what Real Madrid really was known for in that match, the fitness. So that fitness used to come back in. Mondi is pretty young.
Yeah.
Alaba is quite young. Militao, he's just grinding his feet. Lucas Vasquez knows. He's been there, done that. Then the back four know there is only as much that Courtois can do on his day, to be very honest, that poor man who goes and puts in his hardest,
Yeah.
and the backcourt really need to go and start supporting him a lot.
Osasuna is a good team, though. They're in seventh place at the moment. They've had a good start to the season. They have. They're a good.
Absolutely,
They're a good team. They're a good team.
absolutely,
To put that, but okay. When you try to win La Liga and it's a point system, the home games against teams that are not in European competition. This is my formula. Okay, how I think they should be preparing these games. You got to get the 3 points. Got to get
you
the
have
three.
to,
Got to get
you
three
have to,
points against Elche on the road today. Got to get the 3 points. Got the three
you have
points.
to.
The problem is, if you don't get the 3 points, you put pressure on the next leg, which is on the road in their stadium. You have to get those 3 points.
Correct.
Because that you're trying to get points against the other teams that are competing for that title, and you don't want to leave it up to those big meetings like against
Correct.
Atletico, against Sevilla. You want to win La Liga and doing your homework with the other teams that you have more talent against and run those
Right.
points. And then the games against those other big clubs that are coming up in the title, you want to win, but you don't have to depend on the victory. You know what I mean?
Like even if you look at the Elche game, and if you look at the stats, Elche was pretty much like 15th or 16th in the league
Yeah.
table. They had 13 shots, 13 attempts on goal
Yeah.
today. For 15-19, that's not good. That doesn't show good on me. If I'm placed on the top of the and I'm fighting with the top of the table, I cannot allow 13 shots to come my way. I cannot allow an 87% pass accuracy. I cannot allow that much. If I have to be the best, I have to be the best. And from a defense perspective, I have to go and put my act together. I really have to go and intercept. And that's one thing that Madrid really needs to. We really need to have work on. Yes, we have a new defense. Our center backs have gone off to other clubs, the ones which have been there for almost a decade. And Alaba, to be very honest, all comments to him, all appreciation towards him. That person has been amazing. He's just fitting like a hand in glove. The way that he's gone in and become a part of the team. Militao, I do see some room for improvement. He needs to go and charge back quite often, or probably if that be the case, he needs to be really at the back all the time if he really needs to work on his defense. Because Alaba, he just switches on and he just starts charging towards the front line. And that's something which, well, it works well, but then somebody's got to hold the fort.
It worked well in Barcelona, that's for sure.
Fantastic
That
finish.
was a jump out
Fantastic
of your seat.
finish. And I'm like, and I actually went in and checked the scorecard. I'm like, hang on a second, who's this? Who scored it? And it was Alaba. And I'm like, that does not look like a centre back finish. That
Woo,
just does not look like a centre back finish.
that was a great shot.
Wow. And that is amazing.
Woo.
But
Now
yeah,
today, Vinicius, wow, beautiful,
wow.
beautiful
Wow.
goals.
Wow. Literally. To be very honest, I went onto YouTube and I went in and checked on the replays 4 or 5 times. I'm like, how on earth did he get the second goal in?
Yeah.
He was
I didn't
being
think he was
dragged
going to
by
get
the
there. I didn't think he was going to get there. I
he
thought the
was being
goalkeeper was
dragged
going to
by the
get it.
defender. He was being dragged by the defender. And at that point in time, and at that angle, like if that's a goal, he's
Yeah.
right there. He was pretty much at a 75-degree angle with the goal. And at that angle, he decides to go over and chip. How, that's as I said, both Benzema and Vinicius, they've gone into God mode.
Yeah.
That's Zen mode for them.
Yeah.
To have
16,
that kind of
16 Liga
composure,
goals. 16 Liga goals between them. That's very good news.
exactly,
That's very good news.
exactly. And the way Benzema has been performing, to be very honest, I don't see a Ballon d'Or for him very far off. It's pretty much, and most probably he might just win this one.
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, those are political. You know how that goes.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
should, you know
Exactly.
what? He should be that I believe he should be a finalist. A finalist.
Literally.
That
Absolutely.
give him the
Absolutely.
finalist podium. Okay, he wins it, phenomenal. He does well, whatever. But give him the recognition he earned. Earned it.
To be very honest,
Ah,
when I was watching Euro, the Euro that just went off,
yeah.
2020, uh, when France lost, I didn't feel bad about France losing. I felt bad about Benzema. This man made his way back into the France squad,
Yes.
and he was at par during the group games with Ronaldo, the one who won the Golden Boot. But he was at par, 2 goals each, 2 goals apiece. And he was, and to be very honest, Mbappe wouldn't have missed that penalty, or that penalty would have been stopped. No, no, no question. Uh, who knows if Benzema would have won the Euro, being a part of France, he would have been even you're talking about finalists. I would say he would have been a winner.
Yeah. Yeah, because in that situation, you would have, let's say he would go up against Lionel Messi at the moment. Lionel Messi has a Copa America title, and Benzema would have a Euro.
A
So
Euro,
you would
exactly.
say, okay, these guys have continental titles with their national teams going up against each other, aside from their production on the
Mm,
field. So that's an even
exactly.
game, even. All right.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it didn't pan out like that. He has a Nations League, but that's oh boy,
Did,
I
did,
lost you. Uh, are you there? I think we have a little difficulty with your video at the moment, Rajat. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I mean, mind you, everyone that's watching this, he's coming from India. I mean, this is really amazing that we are doing this conversation live like this through this platform. It's really amazing. Rajat, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay. Apparently, we have a little bit of an issue with that audio and visual. It looks like so. We're just gonna hang tight for a moment. Maybe he'll rejoin us, and I just, when he comes back in, we'll continue this for a few more minutes. But we've lost him for the moment, but hopefully we'll get him back. Yeah, the one thing I just wanted to mention to everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure subscribe down below, leave a comment, hit the notification bell. There are more episodes coming. We have the end of this year, 2021, 2022. Big things are coming. I want everyone to understand big things are coming. Okay. I mean, there will be another announcement soon, very soon, but this is just getting started. I mean, we've had this channel since last June, and we are going strong. This is our 33rd El Palco de Honor, and we had just a phenomenal chat with Rajat from Delhi, India. Peña Madridista Delhi is the founding member. One of my favorite people in the world that follows Real Madrid just as much as I do, as much as others that are Peñistas. Let's see if we can get him back on the channel. But if not, I just wanted to mention something really funny though. You know, during the game against Elche, I was watching it, and the commentators, two funny comments were made that I just thought were just something to laugh at. The first comment I heard was the play-by-play announcer said, "Well, we know Real Madrid, 34-time league champions, 13-time champions of Europe. Elche, meanwhile," and then all of a sudden there was a 5 to 7 second silence. And I remember thinking at that moment, Wow, dude, why are you like throwing Elche under the bus like that? You had to be more prepared when you're going to talk about two teams like that. I mean, of course, Elche don't have the silverware that Real Madrid has, but here we go. Let's get Rajat back in. Anyway, that was a funny moment that we had watching the game. So let's get Rajat back on. Let's see if we have him. It is just past midnight over in India right now. So let's see. We've got him on audio. Rajat, there you are.
Sorry, my phone.
No worries, no worries.
Just a little technical setup.
I know it's midnight over there, man. Happy Sunday.
Well, apparently it's not even midnight. It's way past midnight. It's 12:30 a.m.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's past midday over here. I forgot. 12 and a half hours of difference. Anyway, I was telling the audience, that there was a funny comment that came on the game today against Elche. Two funny comments. Number one, the play-by-play commentator said, well, we know Real Madrid, 34-time league champions, 13-time champions of Europe. Elche, meanwhile, and then there was about 5 to 7 seconds of silence. And I started to laugh thinking, why are you throwing Elche under the bus like that? You got to be more prepared.
And that's one of the sad parts here, because we've gone ahead and done it all. You cannot quote and question us, and then other teams come across and just like you said, they put them under the bus, and literally pull the carpet off from the feet. And that point in time, it does not. Rather than feeling bad for them, the rest of the world goes and like, oh, how arrogant Madrid is. But it's not arrogance. We've done it.
Yeah.
We're not even being arrogant about it.
All right, here's another one. Here's another one for you. Remember when Mariano had that skip by the goalie and then had a shot that hit the net?
Yeah.
Okay, so when that happened, the color commentator said, oh, he should have done better on that. And I'm like, he got the ball in the box, he juked the goalie out, and he had no angle to shoot the ball. He shot it. It was outside, but he's coming full speed. What do you want the guy to do?
They want us to. Yeah, I'll tell you a question. Whenever somebody comes in and tells me, you should have gone and done that. I'm like, fine. We're gonna go out and save the world for you the next time around. That's okay. It is okay. We will save the world for you.
Yeah.
That's what's expected. And that's what's expected. And that's so sad. The world needs to go ahead and start going in and looking at Madridistas in the manner that we've gone in and done it all. But it's fine if you're not able to match up to our success. It is okay. We're not arrogant about it. We'll only get arrogant about it when you go ahead and challenge us about it. Else, it doesn't really matter to us.
Yeah.
So stop competing with us. Go ahead and compete within your own group.
I know. Go compete with your other clubs. That's fine. You'll still do what you do, but let's do our thing.
Yeah, exactly. We have and that's the point about Madrid. We always have our eyes focused on something that we would like to achieve.
Yeah.
And we always go ahead and keep our eyes focused. We always go ahead and concentrate on that. And we always go ahead and be focused. Like La Decima, we were focused till 92-48. We just did not let it go. And even versus Juventus, we were focused. Versus Liverpool, we were focused. Versus Atletico, we were focused.
Yeah.
And every player who plays for Madrid, even till this day, be it Mariano, be it Militao, be it Camavinga of revelation, and I think he'll turn out to be the next choice. But that's it. No matter whoever plays for this club, they realize the importance that they have when they step onto that turf, and they know what's at stake.
Yeah. One final question before I let you go. I know it's late over there. Thank you so much for staying with me. It's really been a phenomenal conversation. I'm having so much fun.
Indeed.
I wish we could do this, longer, but we'll do it definitely again very soon.
You said 45 minutes. You said 45.
I know. I said 45.
An hour.
Well, 45 minutes in Argentine time. I mean, One final question. One final question. The Super
Uh,
League. What are your thoughts on the Super League idea?
I'll tell you something, Krishnan. If Mr. Perez has gone ahead and thought something, if Fiorentino says this is how it's going to be, and he's got the means to make it happen, uh, no matter how much we go and discuss about it, it will happen. That man, he's been the center of criticism. He's been the center of many controversies. But to be very honest, till the time he came along, we were still hunting for our 10th league. And over the last decade, he made four of them happen. Yes, there have been many, controversies and many questions raised that, players can be treated differently, players can be done that. But then, to be very honest, he's a businessman. He knows how the club will go ahead and, right now, Barcelona or multiple other clubs, they are waiting for somebody else to go ahead and come and take it over from, for with better funding, with better money, and go ahead and, clear them of their debts. We as Madridistas, we've gone ahead and not just survived, we've gone ahead and enjoyed success. The new Bernabeu, who doesn't like it? Getting players, yeah, and to be very honest, even till this date, no other club was in the front running or even had thought about Mbappe. We went ahead and we're like, hang on a second, here, here's a million, here's a couple of $100 million. Give us that player.
Mhm.
We are still in a state of demanding for players.
Yeah.
We are still in a state where we go and stake our claims. If we are still at that position right now, question, has the president failed us? Well, in some cases, there might be questions raised. I still remember, and this came up in the Facebook memories. You're going through your Facebook and you get the
Yes.
notification, you get memories, and one of these videos, one of these snippets came through where somebody tagged me in a post, and they're like, "There's a fan walking up to Perez, and he's like, sell Benzema, please." This was close to like 4 or 5 years ago. Sell Benzema, please. Is that fan going to go ahead and say the same thing right now? Well, it's just that that guy did not have that room at that point in time because obviously there was Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was doing wonders for the club at that point in time. But now he's got his stage, and let's we say, has he disappointed us this season? No, he hasn't. Last season, did he disappoint us? No, he hasn't.
No.
He was one of the top scorers. In fact, he was the top scorer for our club. If
Yeah.
that be the case, then should I be questioning that? He was the only person who was actually going in and putting that little round ball into the net.
Yeah.
And if we did not have that at that point in time, we would be hunting for another striker. So yeah, that's where it is. And only future goes in and tells. But yeah, Fiorentino Perez, he's a businessman. He does have a strategy.
Yeah.
He does go in and let things happen or make things happen. But when that man goes in and says that, okay, this is how it's going to be, to be very honest, I'm still going to be a Madridista.
Yeah. We're still going to follow our
Exactly.
club, no doubt.
I'm still going to go and follow up.
I mean, if you think about it, not to get too much into detail because we're, getting to the end of this, but I mean, just think of it just in this manner is that let's say you have the 15, 20 clubs all together in one pot and they all have
Mm.
zero titles, zero, zero. Okay, go. You get all this money, right? Spread equally. So you can spend for players, build your academy, improve your stadium if you want, whatever you need to do. But everyone starts at zero. Now go, new history. I don't have a problem with that, to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that. No one's going to catch us in Champions League. No one's going to catch us in La Liga. So it's a matter of politics. It's a matter of logistics. It's a matter of who comes in, who doesn't. I don't want Manchester City in there. I don't want, PSG in there. I don't want those clubs in there. I want
You don't want
Porto.
Newcastle now because
No,
Newcastle is
I want Porto. I want Celtic. I want Ajax. Give me Nottingham
Celtic.
Forest. Give
Ajax.
me Nottingham Forest. They had two European Cups, 78 and
Exactly.
79. A lot of people don't know that. Like, give me those clubs.
Exactly. 70, 79. A lot of people really don't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ajax,
You know,
one of the most brilliant clubs who've gone in and given the world Dennis Bergkamp, and
yeah.
Edgar Davids. So yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. So it's going to happen. I've been told by people inside the club that are very good friends of mine that this is going to happen. It's just a matter of getting through the courts, getting the argument back, getting the debate back on your side, trying to convince the public, convince the other members of these other clubs, this is the new road. This is the way to go. There's going to be repercussions. We all know it, but we're in a new world. We're in a new world. It's all streaming like we're doing now. I mean, the history is the history. It'll always be there, but creating something new. I mean, we're initially people are scared of it because the fear of the unknown. But when the European Cup was first created, people were against it at the beginning as well. And look, here we are, 60 years
Exactly.
later, and they're like, we love this thing. We don't want to lose it. Well,
Change is the only constant thing in this world, and change is always opposed. Because you're sitting in there in your nice little soft spot, and somebody asks you to move, and it just turned out to be, why should I move? I've been there for so long.
yeah,
Yeah, and but that's what evolution is all about.
yes,
So,
exactly.
and
All right,
and
ending on that
definitely
note.
has to be.
Ending on that
Yeah,
note, Rajat, thank you so much for being on with us. It's fantastic to see you. I'm so glad you're doing well. All your loved ones, all the Peña members. Why don't you give one last message? Give you the social media handles for your Peña and so on and so forth.
absolutely. Peña Madridista Nueva Delhi. That's our Insta handle. We also have a Facebook page. We keep on holding screenings. I would like to go and give a huge call out to the team right now. Akash, there are two Akashs there, and then Karthik, and whoever has been a part of the Penya, who's been instrumental, the presidents, Shivaji. They've been fantastic. The team is really putting their hard work in here to go and make sure that everything comes out and is there at the end. We do go ahead and do free giveaways and everything. Please go ahead and follow us. Please go ahead and stay in touch. We are trying to go ahead and bring this game up. We are trying to go ahead and build this Madridismo up in India, and every single like does go ahead and contribute. So huge call out to the entire team who's been worked for the past 4 or 5 years in getting us where we are today, and to many more roads ahead and many more destinations. But yes, each one of them still shouts out the same words that we all do right now: Hala Madrid in Aramas.
Yeah, Rajat, thank you so much. Your leadership, your passion, setting the road, beginning the road, and now they're the team that you just mentioned, building it for this new generation and beyond. I mean,
Absolutely.
you and those are always invited over here in Southern California to come and to meet our members. We hope to come over there in time. I mean, this is what it's all about. Madridismo Universal.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, on that note, just hold on a second. I got this myself, but there we are.
Oh, there it is. I have that scarf too. I have that scarf too.
Exactly,
I have that
exactly.
scarf too. So
Exactly. And Krishnan, thank you so much for the opportunity. You have been really instrumental in driving and motivating us, even though you are like time zones away. But our conversations, you kept on guiding us. It's been amazing, staying in touch with you, communicating with you. I still remember, even though we don't get to speak a lot on the phone, but every time we go out and win a league, a Champions League, or I always see a message the moment I wake up in the morning from you. So thank you so much. It's been an honor on this show. And greetings, and absolutely, you're always welcome to India. Get as many people over here, and make sure they're here at the time when we are in the next Champions League final, so that I'll show you what Madridismo in New
love it.
Delhi is all about.
Love it. I can't wait to have you on the show again. I cannot wait.
Absolutely.
Take care. Be safe over there. A la Madrid.